Sky Cable TV Kenya. Be on the real.
Hi viewers, my name is Susan Muita with True Living Show, which airs via Sky Cable TV. Today we are talking about eating healthy, but what we'll talk about is about the fats. So we have different types of fats, and sometimes we ask ourselves, why would we know what are fats and what types of fats we'll be eating? The reasons about the fats, it's because we sometimes are not sure what type of fats we should be eating, because sometimes we go to the doctor, maybe we do blood levels so that we can know how our cholesterols are. So we usually have different types of cholesterol. We have HDL, which is the good type of cholesterol that we should be having. And then we also have the bad types of cholesterol, which is LDL, which when we go to the doctor or when we are done blood work to see what levels of the blood sugar that the blood fats that we have. So when it is done, it's either you have high cholesterol or you have low cholesterol. But if your good cholesterol is high, then that's a plus. If the bad cholesterol is high, then that's a bad part of it. So it is always good to know where do we get fats. And before even we know where we get fats, we should also know what types of fats and which are the good fats and which are the bad fats. And these fats, where do we get them from? But before we move on that, just go down there, subscribe, press the red button, and that will mean that you have subscribed on this channel. And also you can comment down there. You can also tell us about what you know about fats, or anything you think we should be talking about, or what we are talking about. So we have different types of fats. We'll start with the bad types of fats, or the fats which we should be wary on. So most of these are the trans fats, and these are hydrogenated oils, mostly from vegetable oils. And why we say they are hydrogenated is because they are condensed in a factory or wherever to make them solid. So most of the trans fats, I can just give you an example of them. So most of them are like dehydrated vegetable oils. The fast foods, they have a lot of that kind of fat. The cakes and the pastries, the chocolates, and the deep fried food. And these degenerated oils, they raise LDL. That's the bad cholesterol. So they make you have high cholesterol. And that's why they usually say, if you want to eat healthy, then don't eat most of these fast foods. If you have to really eat fast food, is maybe when you don't have foods at all, but try to avoid having that. They suppress the HDL, the good cholesterol, and then you find that in your blood you get a lot of those LDL oil, cholesterol, which is the bad part of cholesterol. Then we also have saturated fats. Some of the saturated fats are good because they are obtained from the vegetables. Some of these are like the coconut oil, the palm oil, the creamer, and the condensed milk. Then we have animal fats, fats coming from the animals. We know, like when you're eating chicken, so we usually say, if you want to run away from bad cholesterol chicken, we know it's white meat, and we on this channel, we have been championing on eating more of the white meat and then forgetting about the red meat, but not completely forgetting, but we should have more white meat more than the red meat because of the cholesterol, because we know that a lot of beef usually have the bad type of cholesterol, the LDL. And so the poultry, which, it's the chicken, so the white meat, the meat is okay, but the skin on it, the skin, I know it's very tasty. Even when somebody is eating chicken, you want to eat that part, but that part has has a lot of animal fat. Then, like the fatty meat, like when you go to a butcher or when you are buying meat, there's some meats you find, like you can even tell, you can even see the fat because it's all white, or in between the beef you can see the white layers of fat. So that's another type of animal fat. Then the butter, the ghee, the lard, they all come from the animals, and the full cream dairy product. So that's another type. And if there is a way to avoid that, it's better to have more saturated fats than the animal fats. Then we have the unsaturated fats. Where do we get the unsaturated fats from? So there are two categories of unsaturated fats. We have polyunsaturated fats, and we have monosaturated fats. So in this way, I would suggest, if you have both, it's better to have the monosaturated than the polysaturated, because also in the breaking down of the fats, the mono, as it says, mono is one type of fat, but poly, there are many types of saturated fats. So the polysaturated fats, some of the examples are the corn oil, the soybean oil, the sunflower oil, the seeds, and the cold water fish oil. Then the non-saturated are like the olive oil. That's why we, as we know how we talk about Italian eating healthy oil, or the Greeks, they have been for years and for ages using the olive oil, the canola oil, the peanut oil, the sesame oil, the avocado oil, and the most nuts, they have a lot of oils. So don't forget also to go down there and comment, and also you can subscribe and by pressing the red button. And then, so what we should also think about, or what we can talk about when you are eating a lot of fat diet, we are supposed to have the cholesterol, we are supposed to have the oils, we are supposed to have the fats, but there is a number. We cannot be eating fatty diets all the time. The best thing is to just eat for what the body needs. So what are the results of eating a fatty diet? Some of that is, you gain a lot of weight, you become obese. Then you end up getting a lot of heart diseases. How do you get the heart diseases? When you eat a lot of fatty oil. The fatty oil, sometimes, they run through the blood, but also they can coat around your heart area, your lung area. So you can have a lot of heart diseases and also related issues on that. And you can also have high blood pressure. And the reason for that, why you get high blood pressure when you are used to high fat diet, it's because when the cholesterol or that fat goes onto your blood, then sometimes it clogs, or it's within your veins and arteries. those oils, when they are running around, they go coating on the surfaces of the vein or the capillaries or wherever the blood is passing by. So they go getting onto the ends, and so you end up with narrowed veins or narrowed capillaries or arteries. And so for the blood to pass through, because they clog together, so when your blood is being pumped on a narrow area, let's say, give an example, like if you have a pipe and the pipe is wide, if there is water to pass by, it will pass easily. The same with the veins and the arteries. If you have a lot of blood with a lot of cholesterol and then it's clogged, so you end up with narrow, vessels. So for blood to pass through narrow vessels, then it has to be pumped harder to go through, and that's what increases the blood pressure. So that's how you usually get high blood pressure if your diet is usually high fat. And then you end up with high blood cholesterol levels. So if your doctors or if you go to a lab to be checked, then you find that you have high cholesterol. Then sometimes you can get metabolic syndrome, which is not also good. You can also get prediabetes. And if you get prediabetes because of this fat, because sometimes the fat is broken down to carbs. So if you get prediabetes, then finally, if you continue eating like that, then at the end you'll get the real diabetes. And then you get type 2 diabetes. That's the other, after prediabetes, then the next level you go or you move on to is type 2 diabetes. And then you also, when you get type 2 diabetes, it goes worse and worse, and you have to use medications. Some of them is insulin. And when you have high cholesterol, high fat, then you become resistant to the insulin. So you end up getting high insulin, because even when you get the normal one, which somebody who has diabetes and doesn't have high fat gets, so for you become more resistant to insulin. So you end up getting more. So your diabetes even becomes worse. Another thing is you get fatty liver. So you can get fatty liver disease, which is another abnormality which you'll be dealing with in your liver. So it's always good to make sure that you don't have a very fatty diet all the time, or having fast foods. Then you can easily get a stroke. You can easily get a mini stroke, because when the cholesterol or that fat blocks your arteries, you can easily get a stroke, because once the blood does not go where it's supposed to go, or when your blood pressure is very high, that's how you end up getting a stroke. I remember we had covered that part when we were talking about high blood pressure on previous videos, and also when we were talking about diabetes. Other problems which one can develop is neurodevelopmental issues for children, and neurological problems in adults. And it's always good to make sure that your diet is proportional, that you have enough fats, which is only needed, and it's not that much. And you make sure you eat the good types of fats. And we have just talked about, and if I can ask, which are the best types of fats to eat. So the best type of fats to eat, the best one is the monosaturated, and also the polysaturated fats. so that we can move away from the bad fats which comes from the trans fats or the saturated fats. And we as we are almost coming to the end of this video, I would say again, bad trans fats, those are the worst types of fats you can ever have, and they are the byproduct of a process called dehydrogenation that is used to turning healthy oils into solid, so to prevent this from becoming rancid. So it's always good. Stay away from trans fats. Stay away from animal fats. Try to eat fats which comes mostly from the plants. And we had said that some of these oils which comes from plants like olive oil or canola oil, they are good. And most of the nuts, I know, like from where I come from, we also have macadamia, which it's good types of, you can easily get some oil from there, or any other kind of, like peanuts or anything like that. So for now, we are coming to an end of this show. It comes every Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern African time and 12 noon Eastern time. Don't forget to subscribe, and thank you so much for watching this show. Thank you.